Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome back to Cover Brand. I'm Ethan Decker, and today I've got Carmell Clark on the show. Hello, Carmell.
Hey, Ethan. So great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. We're going to talk a lot more about your company and your business, but first we got to get down to cover songs. Mm-hmm. What cover song did you bring?
So I brought you One Way or Another by Until the Ribbon Breaks. Yes.
Tell more. Say more. Who are they?
Until the Ribbon Breaks. They're an interesting band. They do some original work and they also do cover work, and their cover work is very unusual. In fact, I had mentioned this when Aisla was talking to me about sending in a cover song, and I said, I have an entire playlist of covers interesting covers that I have developed over a lot of time, and this was my top pick. Wow. Out of this,
Okay.
whole playlist.
So first of all, let's break it down. One Way or Another, the classic Blondie song from the mid 70s, right? One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you. Yes. Yeah. So driving rock and roll from like proto-punk, pseudo-punk rock from the 70s.
Right. And I mean, Blondie, like just classic forever and ever and ever. Right.
Yeah. She's great. Debbie Harry, what a story. Yeah. What a talent.
What a talent.
Great band. So this band, this cover, I mean, that was from the 70s. So Until the Ribbon Breaks, they're Welsh or Irish or something.
I mean, I can't quite remember that answer. So yeah, they are. They're in that whole area, Welsh, Irish.
And this cover was more recent? Is it? Do you know when it came out?
It's been a number of years, actually. It's been around for quite a while. Yes, I first came on it, I want to say it was somewhere around 2015, maybe something like that. 2016.
Okay. So maybe a decade old, but not the 70s. So we're talking.
No.
That's 50 years later, something like that.
Reinvention.
And this version is, how would you describe it? Like spooky?
This version, the way that it came into my world was one of my clients was, we did a lot of work together. I worked with her directly. I worked with her team. I did a lot of the work that I do with her whole enterprise. And she was very slow emerging out of a very religious life and culture into discovering herself as well in these different ways. And she decided that she was going to learn how to pole dance and do like other kinds of this kind of dancing, like burlesque, I guess, kind of style. And so she was taking all these classes, and she made this video for her husband. She's like, Carmell, I've got to share this with you. And she shared it with me, and this was the song.
Wow.
And so that will forever be part of this experience of this song for me.
Wow. So that's a great association. That's a crazy association. but the song itself is really different than a driving rock and roll up-tempo thing like Blondie did.
Right. It is. It's deeply intense and slow, and requires you to actually experience every moment in this song. So here on the one hand, you have Deborah Harry doing this really fun, intense experience. And on the other side, you have something that's brought you all the way to right now, and there's nowhere else you can be, and you have to experience it in your skin and all the way down to your bones every single moment. It's highly sensual. But it's so interesting you said spooky. Tell me about the spooky.
Well, listening to it, it's a dark, moody vibe.
Dark, moody is good.
Right? So I could see it being sexy, but to have a guy sing One Way or Another, I'm going to find you, I'm going to get you. It's different from a woman singing it, for sure.
Sure.
But also, and maybe because you have that association with pole dancing, you see it as the sexy side, as the sensual part. Which it's kind of like the Police song, Every Breath You Take.
Yes, yes.
Which is a lovely love song until you really listen and you're like, it's kind of a stalker tune. Like, oh. So
It's alarmingly stalkerish for sure. Yes.
yes, but I think so. Regardless of the valence, the feel of the association, it's a slow, sultry, moody version.
Yes.
It's sung by a guy.
It is, but
That's
it's
cool.
interesting. I got it sung by a guy as more like angst driven than like scary. Like that
Nice.
was
Okay.
my experience of it. Like,
That's cool.
yeah, interestingly, yeah, because
Well,
go ahead.
I look forward to really being able to listen to the whole thing. I've got it queued up, so I'm going to play it right after we record this session.
Ooh.
And I'm going to add it to the Cover Brand cover song playlist on Spotify, so others can track it down. And if you just want to look for it, of course, it's One Way or Another by Until the Ribbon Breaks, which is quite a band name.
They're gonna love it.
Cool. Great choice. Great choice. And I can see why you love it. I can see why it's at the top of your list. Because they really they make it their own. They certainly make it their own.
Completely. Like you're listening to it, you're like, what is this song? It's so familiar. And then you put it together, and you're like, but wait, who sang it originally? Because you're so far into something so different. Yes.
Right. Fantastic. We will be right back after the break with more from Carmell Clark. Cover Brand is fueled by Brand Equity Gummies, daily chewables for your long-term health. Each gummy contains 3 times your recommended dose of distinctiveness, familiarity, and mild panic about your Q4 results. And it tastes like strawberry future cash flow. Brand Equity Gummies. Choose your future. Okay, welcome back, listeners. Carmell, let's get into branding, marketing, advertising,
Great.
brand science, all that junk. Give people an overview of your company so they know where you're coming from, and then we'll dive into your question for the day.
Great. So part of what I'm going to put in front of you for your masterful insight is the fact that I have a personal brand and I have a company that I have established.
Okay.
And both of those coexist and have coexisted. So I have Carmell Clark on the one side, and then I have Center for Transformational Influence on the other.
Okay.
And Center for Transformational Influence is my brainchild, in essence, for the larger work that I'm doing. So the books that I'm writing, I'm not interested in those books being, creating this, kind of cult of personality with me. Quite the opposite, because a large part of the work I do is trying to dismantle our addiction to guru culture.
Okay.
And helping people return back to themselves in sovereignty and accountability. And that's the essence of the work that I do, whether it's on the business side or on the personal side, kind of gives you a nutshell. So the Center for Transformational Influence is this organization for being able to take my work into companies, for example, in leading coaching groups and trainings, working with organizations to help them develop better mentoring, teaching them how to be mentors and mentees, and what the appropriate intersection of those places is to get the best results. Okay. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of an overview. On the personal side, I have been executive coaching for over 25 years, and the core of the work I do is self-awareness work. I developed a 2-year self-awareness curriculum that's quite intensive called Core Self-Discovery. And Core Self-Discovery is at the heart of everything else that I do, whether personal or under the Center for Transformational Influence.
Okay, interesting. So you've got 2 brands, in a sense.
Yes.
Already that's a challenge.
I know.
And then one of those brands is a little bit of a paradox, that you are the leader and the face of it and a personality, but the brand is a little bit about fighting against the cult of personality and blindly following leaders.
Yeah, and I absolutely hope people challenge the fuck out of that. Yeah.
I love that. It's like, did you ever watch Monty Python?
Yes.
That British troupe from England from the 80s or something.
Love it.
and they did a show called The Life of Brian,
Yes.
which was a send up of Jesus worship and Jesus cult followings.
Right.
And they're all chasing Brian around, and he's like, "You have to think for yourselves." And in unison, the masses say, "Yes, we must think for ourselves."
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. Also from the Holy Grail. You are all individuals. We're all
Yes.
individuals. I'm not.
Right.
Right.
The one
Same-
person.
Same
I'm
idea.
not in it. Yeah, it's so great. Monty Python. Okay, so you've got two brands. One of them is very well developed, which is your coaching practice, which is Carmell Clark, and then the other one, which is Center for Transformational Influence. What's the stickiest wicket right now? What are you struggling with? How can I help?
So, as I've been working to figure out how to grow and scale the work that I've created, people connect with me, and there's the Carmell Clark brand, and it's wonderful. But how do I make the most of what I've built on that side to move that into Center for Transformational Influence, to go further with it and have it accomplish what I want to accomplish, which is to not create that cult of personality. You see, like, on the one hand, people have the experience of me, Carmell Clark, and people all the time, if I've never met them in person, but we've spent any small amount of time together virtually, they meet me and they say, "You're no different. You're exactly the same," which is the best compliment I could get, right? And, authenticity has to be, just kind of a given, I think,
Sure.
in that world. So, I want that to be able to help the bigger work that I'm doing. And when I publish my books, I want to get your intake too on this, your input. Because I always intended to have my name on my books, but also, the Center for Transformational Influence as a way for people to be able to go further and do more. I'm not interested and go out there all the way. I'm not interested in having a bestseller book that then ends up being all about me, because part of what happens in that is people develop this artificial perspective that they don't already have what they need to be able to, whatever, fill in the blank. And I want to take that apart. That's such a huge part. And you see a lot of these kind of cult of personalities out there. I won't name any books because, I want...
Oh, I'll name them. Don't worry. I'm going to name them.
But
Yep.
I have a real issue with that because, they end up taking the power and the energy from others and not giving it back. And the essence of the work that I do is helping people to recognize what I just said, and that, you can give your trust, put your trust into, learning from somebody else. But if they are truly worthy of teaching you, then they never close their hand over that trust. They're always ready for you to just pick it back up and take it and run with it. And that's the essence of the work that I do, whether it's one side or the other, both brands.
Interesting. Well, first of all, that's a challenge. So nailed it. You brought a great challenge. Second of all, congrats on having such a great coaching business that has done so well. And it's been going on for 20 plus years. And is built around CarmellClark.com. Is that right?
Yeah, Carmell Clark.
With two L's. CarmellClark.com. So, okay, yeah, you have a considerable problem. And in my sense of brand building, it's going to be a challenge to build a brand, a B2B brand around expertise without having an expert.
Okay.
I think I hear your sentiment. I hear your worries that Center for Transformational, I keep getting the third words stuck, influence.
Yeah.
CTI, Center for Transformational Influence. I see you want that to be bigger than you.
Yep.
I think that in my understanding of brands that are about abstract things, expertise, skills, there often does need to be an expert at the core of it. Okay. And as you said, if you're writing books, they're going to have an author on it.
Right.
And frankly, if you look at the books with one author versus multiple authors, usually the books with multiple authors struggle.
Okay.
And it's because the audience, and this is the brain sciencey piece for what it's worth, we have very small, simple brains. And they're already full of stuff like appointments and injuries and chronic pain and 300 emails and checklists to do.
Right. Right.
So if I want to think about something like conflict resolution, I want to be able to think of a person. And who is that person? And does that person have a name? I don't want to think about the Harvard Negotiation Project, which wrote what I think is a great book on it called Crucial Conversations. But I want to think of one person. So, for instance, if I want to think about bravery and vulnerability in the workplace, Brene Brown is the name.
Right.
Brene Brown has dug this trench for a long time, and it's her trench. It's bravery equals vulnerability. The bravest thing you can do is to be vulnerable.
Right.
And Brene is the face for that, and she's the famous person, but also she's literally the name on the spine of the book.
Right.
And
but I think she doesn't go into being a guru. Like, I think she's been invited into the circle, and she's refused and continues to refuse.
Well, there is absolutely a question of how you behave, how you comport yourself,
Sure.
and how much you want to lean into this.
Okay.
Tony Robbins, for instance, in my understanding of it, I've never done a Tony Robbins course, disclaimer.
Yeah.
His stuff is all about personal power, transformational power, discovering yourself, but he is very much the guru of that stuff. And he seems to play that role. And he kind of embraces it. But this gets back to a little bit of what we said earlier with Monty Python, the jokes with Monty Python, is that people, well, how do I put this? Evolutionarily, there are more followers than leaders.
Yes.
Evolutionarily, it's easier to follow. It's harder to lead. Most of us are wired to look around and to follow the teachings of Jesus instead of to be Jesus. To follow Steve Jobs and his vision for our computing company instead of be the next computing wizard and create our own. It's why sports is overwhelmingly a spectator industry. Overwhelmingly a spectator industry.
Right.
Very few people actually get out on the pitch and want to catch the ball, hit the ball, whatever it is with the ball. It's all balls. So in a weird.
So I want to know where, like,
Yeah. There's a guy I would point out specifically who did a beautiful little 3-minute long TED Talk on this topic called Derek Sivers. And his TED Talk is called How to Start a Movement in 3 Minutes.
Oh, I've heard it. Yeah.
Derek Sivers, Sivers. And he just shows how a bunch of people on the side of a hill start dancing to a band. Now it might be jogging your memory here. And
it is. I've seen it.
The first person gets up there and he's the leader. And then how does it become a thing where suddenly 500 people want to start dancing, standing up, instead of sitting on their blankets and their towels watching the show? So there's a weird. I love it that you want to avoid cult followership. I love it that your work is focused on being discerning about leaders. I think those are great. And I think you need to embrace some of this truth about humans. That's a lot of what I do in my work is what is the real truth about humans? And if you fight against it, you're just going to be clenched and bitter and frustrated all the time. And B, you'll probably do things that are stupid. So for instance, one of the things I do a lot of is teach people how little we think about brands.
Right.
if I were to ask you about insurance companies, can you name anyone who does auto insurance?
Yeah, State Farm, Allstate,
Uh,
Progressive,
cool.
Geico. Yeah.
Great. What's the difference between Geico and Allstate?
They have a really cute lizard.
Geico has the lizard, right?
Right.
And more precisely, it's a gecko.
Right.
Geico, gecko,
Geico.
gecko,
Yeah.
gecko. But none of us can say whether one of them has better roadside assistance
Right.
or one of them has better claims processing. We don't know shit about the services and the products of these brands. We really know about their logos and their mascots and their
Right.
jingles. And it's the same in most of our lives. We don't want to know about the eggs, whether they're free range or cage free. Really? We don't really want to know if the BMW has better side panel crash ratings than the Subaru. So I teach people you have to embrace how little people really want to think about brands. And that frees you up to do really powerful stuff like the Geico Gecko. That stupid little gecko that speaks with a Cockney accent has tripled their business.
That's no joke.
That's billions of dollars of value with something that seems really stupid and irrational.
Right.
But it embraces the fact that consumers, that shoppers of insurance are not going to, on the whole, do exhaustive research. So they gave you one headline. 15 minutes can save you. You know it, Carmel, right? 15 minutes can save you
Yes.
15%.
Yes. Okay,
When
but
you switched,
I have a question
So-
for you on that, but finish your
okay. Well, to finish this, and then I want to hear your question. The same will be true with you and struggling with this truth of humans that most humans are followers. Most humans look for leaders, look for teachers, look for guidance, and that humans have a tendency to then pedestalize people, right? So how do you potentially work with it and deal with it and manage it instead of fight against it emotionally? And
Yeah.
what would that unlock in your business? So anyway, go ahead. What's
No,
your
I
question?
think that you hit the nail on the head right there for me, for sure. Because I think as you know, a human race, we want connection. Turning that connection need into being followers of leaders, you know, and to see historically how that's happened. My question is, what else is possible? Like that's where I live in my head. Like what if human beings were by and large able to actually, you know, gain enough awareness to follow themselves and really want to be on a path of trusting themselves? Is that possible? Is that like, you know, am I like really up in the night about it? Because
It's tough.
it is. But when I
Yeah.
have conversations with people one-on-one all over the world, I find that there tends to be a lot more awareness than we give people credit for. But en masse, you're correct. Individually, it's not. And there's no way for me to like, you know, interact with every single person individually. So
Sure.
what do we do with that, Ethan? Tell
I
me.
know. Well, a good example, I have a couple examples. One of them is Duarte, Nancy Duarte.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yes.
Okay. How do you know of Nancy Duarte?
I don't know, but I know.
You've heard the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is an expert on, well, it started with literally designs of presentations. Nancy Duarte wrote Slideology,
Oh.
which was a book about designing beautiful slides back when people had PowerPoint and the default of PowerPoint was disgusting as fuck. Just, you know, it looked like ass. And so she talked about how to make beautiful slides. And then she wrote a book called Resonate, which is more about storytelling and presenting instead of just the slides.
Yes.
And now she has an entire company called Duarte. And she is almost invisible. She's almost receded to the background because Duarte is a brand like Ford. No one thinks about Henry Ford, the guy, anymore. Or what's another example? Decker Communications, which is not my company, but I am actually related to them. Bert Decker created a company about also presenting and public speaking, and Ben Decker, his son, and I think Ben's wife now run it, but it's known as Decker or Bain Consulting. Bain. Yep. No one thinks of Bill Bain, but it takes time and it takes years for those people to recede into the background, and then it's just Ford Motor Company, and you don't think of Henry, or Duarte training and communications, you don't think of Nancy. And so for the Center for Transformational Influence, it's probably going to have to start with a very strong Carmell Clark in the core.
Okay.
And how you behave and how you comport yourself, of course, can vary.
Right.
But over time, and I think this will be your strategy, over time, you will recede into the background. You will do things to put CTI more and more up front until over time the Carmell Clark part of it is part of the lore, part of the history instead of at the core. But I think for now you're going to be fairly central. You'll be on the spines of the books. You'll be on the front page of the website. Your expertise is what they seek. Otherwise, CTI is just a random generic company with initials and long words that they've never heard of.
Got it. So then I'm going to ask this question of you. Is it better to keep CTI or to move forward with Carmell Clark, or just Carmell?
Do you have, well, here's one question. Do you have equity in CTI? Do people know of it?
Some.
Okay. Like if you tore it down, would anyone really miss it?
Not at this point, probably.
Okay. So it's not big enough and established enough that there's real equity in it.
Yeah, it's there throughout, but people know me. People are familiar with me.
Yeah. I think that's still a decision you can choose. And I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. On the very far end, you've got Tony Robbins and the Tony Robbins Company, Oprah. Everything is called Oprah and O, and the O magazine and Oprah, Oprah. On the other end, you've got Richard Branson and Virgin.
Yeah.
It's still imbued with him, but it's Virgin. Virgin Air, Virgin Music, Virgin Phones. So you could absolutely build CTI to be a thing. Or you could come up with a new name. For my own example, Applied Brand Science is probably not as well known as Ethan Decker at this point, because I'm the expert. I'm the face. I'm the one with the orange jacket. I do most of the trainings. I write most of the articles. So EthanDecker.com will have to be built out because that's where people will go. But I do have Applied Brand Science as the future of the organization when I recede into the background. So you can...
Your idea.
Yeah, it's similar. So it's a long-term plan.
Right.
First of all, I think that to your chagrin, you will have to embrace the spotlight for a while, because you are what attract people and you are what people choose to trust.
Right.
You are the expert at the core of the Center for Transformational Influence, in the same way that Nancy was the core of Nancy Duarte and Duarte Consulting for a while. And so people need to know, who is that? I mean, back in the day with ad agencies, it was all people's names. DDB was Doyle Dane Bernbach.
Right.
Maybe. So their literal names were on the door.
Just like
a lot of companies.
Firms, right.
Kellogg was the William K. Kellogg Company.
And now,
right?
Just Kellogg. Yeah, Kellogg.
Just Kellogg. Philip Morris. Philip Morris, huge tobacco brand. 2 people, their names on the door. And so I think you can do that and find a way to do it that doesn't make you vomit in your mouth a little bit all the time.
Thank you for reading my thoughts.
No, and I love that this is your mission, but also it's your emotional frustration or conflict with
Yes. Yeah.
I worked with a client recently who was also building up a brand and really didn't want to be the front and center of it. And she was really clearly the core of it and what everyone loved. And we were like, you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup. You are the face. You should embrace that and use that to, again, show people that even you deal with this, that even you know that you've got good thoughts and good help and you can be a leader, but you're encouraging others to step into their own leadership, their own power. So use yourself in a way, Carmell, as an example for your clients.
That's a really brilliant idea, Ethan, like really brilliant. I'm trying to remember the name of the documentary Isla had recommended to me. Starts with a K. The guy, like, he goes out there to like try to show people that their need to follow is such a problem, and instead, and he's just sincere about it, and he's open and he's authentic, but he takes on this name to do it, and people start following him right and left, and he is like, oh my gosh, and he gets caught in between these two places of like, I don't want to let them down, and also like, how much does it give them to believe in me? And right, and you know, and it's a brilliant documentary where he finally, do you want me to spoil it for you or no?
Yeah, you can spoil it.
Okay. He does finally in the documentary come clean to all of the people, right? And there is, as you could probably expect, there are some who just get up and walk out, and their anger, they're like, you know, they're broken. There are some who refuse to let go of the belief, and there are some who actually emerge through that wall to the other side to have themselves. Like, it's like kind of a combo.
Is this the one about the guy who claims to be like a psychic and a faith healer?
Maybe. You know, it's been a long time since I watched it, and I'm terrible at remembering these things.
An honest liar? Is that the one?
Which one?
An honest liar.
I don't think that was it.
Okay. Well, that one has a similar thing where people claimed they were psychics, and everyone started believing them, and then they revealed that no, they're actually, it's just parlor tricks.
Right.
But here's another angle I can give you. That comes from the world of politics and identity and power, which is the first blush when people realize, oh, I have privilege, I have power, I have, like, if you're a man and you suddenly wake up to the fact that men have privilege just by being men, or white people, we have privilege just by being white. Like an example I often cite is, have you ever been followed through a store by the security people or the clerks just because of how you look?
Right.
And if the answer is usually not, then that's a privilege. And a lot of black people in America or brown people in America, they get followed through stores by the security guards or by the clerks. And you might be oblivious. You might think, oh gosh, so you want to erase your privilege or get rid of your privilege. And Audre Lorde and others, she's I won't go into it. Others have said, embrace your privilege and then use it for good. Don't shirk it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't try and minimize it. If you have privilege, if you have power, step into that and then be aware of it, but then use it for good. So I would say the same for you, Carmell.
For my branding.
For this branding, there's this conflict you've got. Like, you want to talk about being in your own power, not following gurus, being skeptical of gurus and cult leaders. But you will have people who love you, who want to follow you, who see you as a leader. And my recommendation, therefore, just for your own psychology, but also for your company, is to embrace that and use that to continue to teach and to continue to show that even you, in the middle of this, struggle with this.
Ethan, it's great advice. So I'm going to move forward with this and then come back and have you break it all apart into its next iteration. How's that?
100%. I would love that. Absolutely. Can't wait.
Carmell, get off the Jesus pedestal right now.
Oh no, I have no doubts you will not ascend to those heights. I don't think you're going to
Me
get there.
either. I have no doubt.
But you're right. It's like the life of Brian,
Yes.
right? You must think for yourselves. Yes, Lord, we must all think for ourselves.
Yes.
You are all individuals. Yes, Lord, we are all individuals. And feed that. Use that as the material itself. You can be self-referential in the work of CTI in the same way that I'm often self-referential with Applied Brand Science, with my logo, my colors, my fonts, my reputation, my behavior, to show people that I'm trying to practice what I preach.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already in the work that I do, so this is an easy response for me because I'm very aware of that shift where people move from, we're here to suddenly we're here, right?
Yeah.
And, we're not even, we're now one person's above another, right? That moment for me is, it's instantly evident.
Cool.
And
So, yeah. So step one, because it is very uncomfortable, will be suck it up, Buttercup. It's what you got to do. You're the name on the spine of the book. You're the face of CTI. Carmell Clark is a leader, and she is charismatic, and she is smart, and she is an expert. And your face should be on the front of CTI, not just the front of carmellclark.com.
Okay.
And then step two, as you build your ability and your capability with using that power, you will become actually more comfortable in that role because you will know how to play with status and play with being self-referential and not let it consume you and guide people through it.
So I just have to give you all the kudos for what just happened here because this very substantial divide that I have been experiencing between these two brands, I'm going to just say it, and this is not, it's there for real. From myself on the inside, I can literally feel a path forward. This is the first time I've been able to feel a path forward on this. Since the moment I decided I was going to create two, and I was trying to figure out how to do it. This is a resolution for next steps. This is a path for real.
Yay.
Yeah. Wow.
Yay.
And all, obviously I don't have to have all the answers. And I know that from being an entrepreneur, my whole adult life, right? You can't know the answers. You step onto the path and the options are there in the moment and you figure that out and take the next step. So how that will work forward, but I do know myself already in the space of having been, been given a lot of power from others and accolades, and how I, how to give it back to them is really the practice that I've already been in and already do. So how to do that where I don't have a divide between two brands and something can really grow to be able to reach further, which is the point of it, right?
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
is the first.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're kind of
I love it.
Ethan. I knew that, but here I have experienced it myself. Thank you.
I'm so glad I could help. I'm so glad I had something that shed some light on the situation and helps you with a path through.
Oh my God. Seriously, it's already going through my head, the whole reframing of the business model around what we just talked about and how to move that.
And for me, the brand science-y piece is really understanding people and embracing them for where they're at instead of fighting against it.
Right. But that doesn't mean that I leave them there. That doesn't.
No.
Right.
Totally. Embracing that people don't think much about your brand means you need a brand that's really sticky and easy and simple. Shit simple for people to remember, like Geico, Gecko.
Right.
But then you allow for more. There's places for information. There's places for facts. There's always places for those people who want to look under the hood and know who's got the best roadside assistance and who covers hail damage and who doesn't. Because in my area, we have hail damage. So you leave those paths and those doors open, but you accept and embrace people where they're at. And that's, I think, one of your struggles was you weren't ready for that.
Huge struggle. I'm like, no, I know that we are more thinking than that. I know that is really, really there. And I think it really is. But you're right. When people have so much information coming in, you can't hold to that kind of purist position and actually get traction to be able to have the conversation in the first place.
And you do this in your own life. You don't want to be a leader in technology for HVACs and plumbing and electric.
Right.
You want to find experts who know that shit and take care of it for you.
Right.
And follow their expertise, right?
That's true. You're right.
So,
don't cut it off at the waist when...
Yeah, embrace it.
I got it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're going to have
Carmell?
another conversation. It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited about that.
Yes. When you're ready, we'll have you back on the show. We'll figure out what your next problem is too, but mostly because there are always problems, right? Life is a series of problems. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait to hear how things go.
Great. Ethan, thank you so much. Like, really,
You're welcome. Absolutely. Ciao.
Ciao.
Are you planning a big team offsite, a sales meeting, or a large company event, and you want to bring in a speaker who will blow people away? Then your first call should be Oprah. But if you can't get Oprah, call me. Also, if you got something out of this episode, think of one person who might also get something out of it and send it to them as a way of saying, hey, thinking of you.